Prime Minister Mark Carney is signaling a new approach this morning. We have images from Carney's meeting just a few hours ago with Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the APEC summit.
The APEC summit, Prime Minister Mark Carney says the Canada-China relationship is at a turning point after meeting with President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the summit.
Prime Minister Carney and President Xi mean for Canada's fraught relationship with China and for Carney's ambitions to diversify trade.
Something shifted on the global stage. And for Mark Carney, Canada found itself at the heart of it. At the APEC Economic Leaders meeting in Gyeongju on October 31, 2025, Carney met with Xi Jinping in the first high-level Canada-China leader encounter in 8 years. In that handshake, in those few minutes of warm exchange, a new diplomatic map began to form. He did not arrive for a photo op, nor to tick off routine talking points. The tone itself spoke, lingering smiles, cameras hovering, but the real message lay in what happened when the lenses weren't on. For nearly 8 years, Canada's relationship with China had been sidelined, dormant. In that time, Ottawa's outreach mostly passed through Washington. Carney entered office determined to reverse that setup, repositioning Canada as a credible independent actor. At the meeting, he conveyed exactly that. "We now have a turning point in the relationship," he would later say. The setting was understated yet charged. Two leaders seated across a table representing vastly different global orders. Xi leads a nation of 1.4 billion and the world's second largest economy. Carney leads a country of 39 million, long overshadowed in great power games but increasingly respected for stability, principles and balance. What happened wasn't just diplomatic niceties, it was Canada stepping into a different role. Carney's agenda was clear. On the sidelines of APEC, he and Xi agreed to move quickly on agricultural irritants, canola, seafood, and electric vehicles, while opening up deeper cooperation on energy, manufacturing, climate, and finance. Xi, for his part, noted the 55-year anniversary of China-Canada diplomatic ties and indicated China's willingness to work with Canada to bring relations back to a healthy, stable, and sustainable track. Carney's leadership philosophy matters here. A former central banker with global financial experience, he understands that influence doesn't always come from dominance. It often comes from trust, continuity, and integrity. In contrast to the transactional, headline-driven style of many, his foreign policy approach emphasizes patience, credibility, and long-term partnerships. At APE, he declared that the old era of purely rules-based liberalized trade is gone, and Canada will aim to double its non-US exports over the next decade. In the broader picture, Canada's pivot isn't about choosing East over West. It's about reducing overdependence on any single partner. While the US remains Canada's largest trading partner by far, the reality is shifting. The Washington-Ottawa axis has dominated Canadian foreign policy for decades. Carney is recalibrating it toward diversification by rekindling ties with China, while continuing engagement with Europe and the Indo-Pacific. Canada is positioning itself as a bridge, small enough to avoid imperial ambition, strong enough to be taken seriously. That's why the Xi-Carney meeting resonates beyond diplomacy. It's a symbol. The invitation that Xi extended to Carney to visit China wasn't ceremonial. In Beijing's diplomatic lexicon, it signals trust, recognition, and higher-level engagement. Carney accepted the invitation, marking not just a meeting, but a renewal of the relationship. For Canada, the message is, "We are back." For the international community, the message is, "Middle powers still matter." Of course, the meeting doesn't erase the past. Trade tensions, tariffs, and political friction remain. Carney himself acknowledged that lifting Chinese tariffs on Canadian goods wouldn't happen overnight. But the difference is, the door is open now. The handshake lingered, the smiles were genuine, and the global audience took note. In the same summit, contrasts were clear. While Carney was meeting Xi with warmth, other exchanges were stiffer. The mood between Canada and the US remains complex. Many in Washington view Canada's outreach to China as pragmatic hedging. Others see it as a challenge to US influence. But Carney's aim isn't to provoke the US, it's to ensure Canada's resilience. As he puts it, not to lead from the rear, but to lead from a place of balance. Diplomatically, Canada is now projecting something different, not the polite regional player waiting on Washington, but a country acting on its own initiative, with credibility and consistency. That role gives Canada a type of leverage the size of its economy wouldn't otherwise suggest, because in a polarized world, reliability is rare. For Beijing, the calculus is clear. By renewing ties with Canada, China gains a stable partner in North America, one that could open economic and diplomatic channels that have long been more difficult to access. For Canada, the benefit is diversification, increased agency, and a restored global identity. What remains to be seen is how quickly the pledged cooperation delivers tangible results: progress on trade irritants, expanded partnerships in energy and tech, and deeper people-to-people exchange. But at APEC, one thing is already certain. The meeting wasn't about headlines. It was about substance. Canada didn't just return to the global stage, it redefined its posture. Thanks for watching Maple States. If you found this insightful, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll pin the best comment from you below. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one.